What up, YouTube? This is Steven Talbot. This is Talbot Reacts. So today, I want to do something kind of cool. I kind of wanted to make. I saw this thing on Polygon, which kind of said these are 5 games you wanna, you wanna play. You wanna. Here's like a. If I'm getting into PlayStation 4, this is what I want to play. And I was like thinking about that to myself. I was like, I should do something like that. And I think that's what this video is going to be kind of themed around is here are 5 games that you should play on the PlayStation 4 if you're a new or coming into PlayStation, or you just want 5 new games to play that you haven't thought about. And so, yeah, and so I kind of came up with my list, started thinking about it, and so my first game is it's a very underrated game. I think a lot of people kind of move across it because it was a game that came with launch, and that was Killzone Shadowfall. Was the very first person shooter on the PlayStation 4, and now there's a lot of PlayStation 4s, and right now most of the online play and stuff like that is gone. But that really wasn't the main part of Killzone. Killzone did have really good multiplayer, but the best part of Killzone was its single player. Like it had really good story. It was about you being on this planet, kind of separated into the Vesex or something like that. It starts with a V, and the Helghast. And there's like this new Helghast and stuff like that. And you're like a marshal, and you're trying to basically undo the separatists, the really far right, really left wing Helghast people. You're trying to shut those guys down, and all are kind of at fault and stuff like that. And it's just a really interesting story. It was the first game I really beat overall. Pretty easy. It takes you a pretty good amount of time. I would say it takes you about 15 to 20 hours fully to play that game. Solid time. You probably would love it if you just really want a solid game to play. I would definitely check it out. That would be my first game, and it's really cheap. I believe it's like $10. My second game is kind of more like is in the indie type of mind, and that's a game called Transistor. It came out in around February or March of this past year in 2015, and it's about this post apocalyptic world, where pretty much there's this girl, and she wakes up in the city, and there's basically everything is gone. There's no people, no nothing, and so it's basically her single journey trying to figure out what happened to the city. And she picks up this sword who has powers, and she finds a dog, and it's just a really cool, like really nice indie game, super cheap, definitely worth getting into. The narration of this game is beautiful, great artwork, great design. It kind of combines both like this very, post-apocalyptic with very technological type stuff. Awesome game. I would definitely check out Transistor if you like that series. The people that make it is called a group called Supergiant Games. They also make this really awesome game called Bastion. Check that out as well. There's some very other really solid indie games around that price, $15 to $20 price, that you probably a lot of people have never tried. I would recommend like Rogue Legacy, Valiant Hearts, just to name a couple of games that are really easy to pick up. They're about in that $15 to $20. If you get like PlayStation Plus, which allows you to get online, you get a lot of these games for free. And that's one cool way of like if you want to get really new games, pick that up as well. So that's my second game. My third game is this really cool game that came out in August called Until Dawn. And Until Dawn is pretty much this horror game. It's a very unique type of game. It's like you playing through a horror movie. And it's pretty short. I think it's about 10 to 15 hours total. It's pretty much you go through like this typical horror type movie type thing, and you kind of pick the actions and stuff like that. Really different, but really awesome. Definitely check that out. I think I would consider it probably one of the top PlayStation 4 games that come out this year. Super good, super good. You'll definitely enjoy it, and it's a different, it's a horror game. It is a very much a horror game. That's a good game. So that's number 3. My number 4 game, I'm gonna go with Infamous Second Son. I recently got this game. It's a game that came out pretty much around launch time, around kind of that window. It's pretty much the second. I would say it's about the second biggest game that come out for the PlayStation 4. It takes place in Seattle. If you don't know what the Infamous series is about, it's about where a group of people get affected with kind of like given superpowers in a sense. If you ever seen like the idea of like Flash, where they have this big explosion and affect a lot of different people and give them meta powers, and it's kind of that same idea. And they were shipping them kind of a prison in like near Washington, and they escape and get into Seattle, and this other guy gets superpowers, and it's kind of their tale of fighting all sorts of things. And it's pretty much an open world type game, real nice long game, probably 30 to 40, maybe 50 hours. And there's like 2 sides. You could be good or bad type of it's one of those type of games. And so you get to explore Seattle. And so very solid game. It came out really recent. I would also say it's one of the more prettier games. Like one of the coolest things you ever get to do is get to climb up the Seattle Tower, and like as you're holding on, you can look around and you can just see the world around you, and it's just it's by far one of the most gorgeous games that I got to play recently. So I would definitely recommend that game. My 5th game is pretty much Bloodborne. Bloodborne came out recently. It's part of the Soul series. Very solid game. It's from Software. It's pretty much kind of this really hard, kind of like a hack and slash type of RPG type game, action RPG if you want to call it. You basically kill people, get souls, and then the more and more souls you get, you can upgrade your guy. When you die, you have to restart at the same point. That's kind of the part of this game and the trickery of this game. And so you do get to defeat, like once you defeat a boss, the boss is beaten. And it's pretty much the story of you going through this town called Yarnum, kind of discovering kind of the mysteries of it. There's some interesting twists and turns with that game. Very awesome. Definitely want to pick it up. And so those are my 5 solid games. Guys, what are your top 5 games? What would you guys recommend to a person going into PlayStation? Those are very much so. There's a lot of other great stuff. You want different shooters, check out the Call of Duty series, check out Battlefront, etc. In terms of RPGs, there's Fallout 4, there's Witcher 3, etc. But guys, what would you say? What would you recommend if you had a PS4? What would you say? Thank you for watching these videos. I hope to do more and more of these, and I hope you had a really good time with me. And thank you once again. All right, have a good weekend, and bye.